Hello guys, welcome to my video tutorials. Today we are going to see a service. A service is work as a model for for you guys who knows MVC frameworks. I mean MVC architecture, programming architecture, where you have model, view, controller. Exactly, AngularJS is like that. It consider MVC architecture, where you have a model, view, controller. Take a service as a model if you know that. You don't know this, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, MVC, you can go ahead and read on the internet. For this tutorial, we're going to see how we can create our own services, and we are having our chart modules, which is the app we are trying to build finally. So take the chart, copy paste there, and write service. Simple. Take a service as something that is going to interact with the database. This is inserting and retrieving, updating, and even posting. So let's call our service a logger and say like this, and okay, now this is how we define a service. You have to make sure that it is really like this. You make sure that this is like this and this is like this. Now go ahead and return. A service should return something. Return an object, and maybe we want to return a name. Because it's an object, we can do like this and put a name here. Okay, that is a service. When this service is called, it's going to return a name. So a service is used on a controller. A service is there. It's like a model. It's something that's going to interact with the database. So now remember that a controller is something that is going to control how this service is going to be used. So take a service name, inject to our controller so that we can have an access to a service, and inject it here. Now we have a logger services on our controller. How can we use that? Okay, we are going to keep using our switch cases where we try to check if it's this first case. We log, and we log what? A logger. Remember that this logger is a service that is declared before. Let's try to see if I put name so that to match this first case, which is Richard. Try to submit it. You can see that our service is returning a name, which is this one, which means I go here and return this name. Okay, now we know how to use a service. Now how we return something really from a service. Now from a service, take a service as an object. An object can be referenced by this, saying this logger, and maybe we want to get something. This is the name of a function. Okay, I hope you are familiar guys with this. And return, we can return the same thing like name. Why am I doing something like this? I will show you that in upcoming tutorials. So go ahead and say Mlajiman. So now the purpose of creating a function is to be able to call multiple options in our services, because I may have multiple function in my services. Maybe this is forget, Okay, now maybe I may have a post function or I may have a get function. So now on my service I can now access which method do I need to access, which is get. So this is to say that on logger on logger services I'm going to access this method, which is get. Then when I access this method get, I'm going to return these values from these methods gets. Then finally I'm going to return this object. If you are not familiar with these keywords, I recommend you to go out and read about this. And if you are familiar about Java or C++, you may be familiar with this keyword this is to reference the current object used. Okay, go ahead and refresh. Say Richard, refresh. It will keep displaying the same things. The trick is, the point I want you guys to focus on is this point of how can how am I creating a service and how am I calling the methods that is inside this service. If you have any problem, please, on this topic, because I know it's very hard, please write to me so that I can clarify this today's tutorial. Okay, let me go ahead and explain a little bit. A service is considered as an object. An object is referenced by this keyword. This is to say, this is like saying, instead of using this, you may use the service name. Why am I not liking to do this? Because it can be much more explainable. But why? It's because I want to finally return one single entity, no matter what happened. If a service is called with the method post, finally I'll return this. But what if two options is happening at the same time? If someone is getting the content and posting, even can do this delete, which is go to function, and I'm going to also to return some data. Okay. Suppose that a user is deleting and posting at the same time. Multiple users are using the service and deleting the content and posting. The logic behind this is to be updated every time, no matter what is going to happen, but every time. This is to say that I'm returning the object no matter what any function that is being called, which is good in synchronous methods when you want to know that you are operating on real data. Because if someone is deleting something, you need to finally return something that is really new to all users connected to your application, which means that it's really good architecture I'm trying to teach you guys, and a good way to write the services. I hope this tutorial is normal. Really, you know what's going on, you know what is an object, what is a function. This is why we are trying to approach some difficult topics. Okay, thank you for watching these tutorials, and I hope you have understood well. And if you like my tutorials, please subscribe to my channels, and if you like it, and if you share to many people, it can be really useful for me, because I need a lot of people to learn about AngularJS, because it's really fun. And thank you for watching my tutorials. Ciao, see you next.